Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to look at the best Pokémon TCG products that are around and available right now. Or at least in the near future, because some of these aren't actually out yet, but you can at least prepare for them. We're going to split into categories like we always do, and we're going to start off like we always do, looking at what's best for collectors. And we've got an easy one to start off with here. It's the INO Premium Tournament Collection. This is awesome. This is amazing. And this is the kind of product that will be fine for a little while. As I record, this is just in stock, ready to go, no issues. I think, and it might not be everywhere as easy as this, but certainly as I'm looking in the UK, it is not even remotely difficult to get hold of this. Everywhere's got it in stock, even the Pokémon Center. But there's going to come a point in the not too distant future where it is sold out, and there's several things going for this, but basically it's INO, and that means that it is going to be sought after in the future. We've got coins, sleeves, deck box, that's all lovely, but really here we've got an exclusive full art INO print that cannot be found anywhere else, which is a pretty big deal. And we've also got a trio of other INO, the regular version, but with INO's logo as a stamp on. This is the kind of product that people are going to see all over the place at the moment. It's going to be readily in stock basically everywhere, and no one's going to worry about it. And there is going to come a point in the not too distant future where all of a sudden this isn't available anymore. And then when it's not available anymore, the price is going to absolutely skyrocket, or at least there's a decent chance that it will, and it's going to be an absolute pain. This is a very cool product, which is readily available right now, that won't be available forever. And, well, I mean, right now, try finding the Marnie Premium Tournament Collection for double retail. You might just about be able to find it for double retail. I'm not saying pick up INO so that you can make money off it in the future or any of that garbage. I'm saying pick up the INO Premium Tournament Collection so that you don't miss out. The less obvious one I've got is Japanese 151. Pokemon Card 151 has, as I told you the other day, received a fairly significant restock in Japan. Now, it's not really done a huge amount to prices, which is a little bit of a pain. It's still a very expensive set, and that's kind of annoying. But also, this is a set which is kind of awesome. It's a set that features Master Ball Hollows, for instance. It is just a very cool set, and because you've got the Master Ball Hollows and the Pokeball Hollows in a way that our set doesn't, and because it's way more difficult to find and more sought after than our set, it means that for collectors, Japanese 151 is awesome, way more so than English 151, so I think that should be on this list as something to look out for if you are a Pokemon TCG collector. Now, if you want to learn to play, I'm a big fan of EX decks. I told you about two EX decks the other day that are new and are coming. They are Victini and Miraidon. What I love about these EX decks is that you can basically just pick up, there's a bunch of them now at this point, and you can basically just go and pick them up and play. And because there's a bunch of them, you can go and buy a whole bunch of these, and you've just got a bunch of pre-made decks that you can sit and have a play with. I would always suggest, if you want to actually physically learn the rules, PTCG Live is the best way to do it. Download PTCG Live, go through the tutorial, and learn to actually play the game in that regard. That is, I think, the best way to actually physically learn the rules. But if you then want to sit around kind of playing with your friends, the absolute best way to do it is go and buy a bunch of EX battle decks and just play them against each other. Watch out for weakness, because if one deck hits another for weakness, that is going to be a pain. Like, for instance, one of the ones I always recommend is Lucario, because it's got an exclusive EX that cannot be found anywhere else. It's not in a set, which is awesome. But then if you play that against the Miraidon player is going to be a little bit sad, because you're hitting for weakness and doing double damage the whole time. Aside from Lucario, Ampharos and Greninja are ones that I would always recommend because they're exclusive EXs. Now, all of them, all the decks at least have alternate art. The Victini and Miraidon I showed you are alternate art, but these are ones that actually have full-on exclusive cards that cannot be found anywhere else, which makes them much cooler as products. But if you're learning to play, go on TCG Live, learn the rules on there, and then go and pick up a bunch of EX battle decks, play them against each other, and thank me later. Now, I get a lot of questions from people who have kids, basically saying, hey, Wassy, I've got kids, what present should I buy them? Or my nieces, my nephews, my partner's kids, whatever. I have a lot of questions along these lines. And the answer changes here and there depending on what's around and what's hot and etc. But in the near future, we've got the new version of the collector chest coming. And I think for kids, a collector chest is just brilliant. It comes with half a dozen packs, which is lovely. But then it also comes with holo promos of Screamtail and Iron Valiant. So you get a couple of extra holos. But then you also get big dice featuring Screamtail and Iron Valiant. Kids love dice. You get sticker sheets. Kids love stickers. And a one-card mini portfolio. That's the one where you can fit like one card per page. Which, again, in my experience, kids love these. They are very well made for kids. And also, they literally come in a full-on lunchbox, which you can actually just use as your lunchbox at school. For kids, these are absolutely brilliant, and I would always recommend these. There are older versions of the collector chest, but sometimes they can be a pain to get hold of. There's a new one coming soon. I would recommend it. But there are actually some back-to-school products which are coming out quite soon. We've got the Charizard pencil tin. It's a pencil tin with 2 packs in. It's kind of cool. And then we got Bellebolt and Gengar eraser blisters, where you just get 2 blisters and an eraser to erase pencil, shaped like either Bellebolt or Gengar. Again, there are older versions of the eraser blisters with arguably better Pokemon in. Like, we've had a Pikachu, we've had an Eevee, but they're just kind of a pain to actually find at this stage. They're not as readily available. But these are very cool, again, specifically for kids, because they've got something like the pencil tin or the eraser they're actually going to use, and they've got some packs at the same time. I like these. I would recommend them. If you're looking for a cheap product for kids, mini tins are always a good call. They're not always necessarily the most exciting, but 2 packs for $10, yeah, they're always nice. We've got Vibrant Paldea tins, which are coming out in the near future. They might be a good shout, but if you can still find them, Paldean Fates is a great set with great pull rates, so Paldean Fates mini tins I think are always a good call. They are ones that I would recommend rather highly. Now, I said about learning to play, but what if you want to learn to play competitively? What if you want to be able to actually go to tournaments and win? Well, how about League Battle decks? And I've said it before and I'll say it again. League Battle decks are the best products that Pokemon have made. And I just think these are brilliant. The most recent one is Gardevoir. The one before that was Miraidon. They are incidentally the best options because they are better built for post-rotation. The other one which is really viable is Palkia V-Star. Any others, you're going to have to make significant changes because every year we have rotation where a bunch of older cards are no longer legal for tournament play and basically a bunch will have rotated out. But certainly Miraidon and Gardevoir are good calls. And what you want to do, go to limitlesstcg.com, look up winning deck lists for these decks, and then you can literally just take the League Battle decks, make a few little changes in terms of singles, and singles are quite cheap a lot of the time, pretty much all the time, honestly. And then all of a sudden you've got really genuinely, legitimately viable decks. Love this. Cannot recommend them highly enough for new people who want to get into competitive. And honestly, if you've not got Gardevoir built and you've not got Miraidon built, this is going to be the cheapest way to build them if you want a nice new deck. And I like to finish off every video with a Wassy pick, and that's what I'm going to do today. My Wassy pick for today, Japanese boxes. They are so available right now. We have finally gotten to the point where they're actually just out there and available, and it's brilliant and wonderful and lovely, and it's taken a long time. Over on the Pokemon Center Japan, which you'll need to use a proxy address, they don't ship outside of Japan, everything from Ruler of the Black Flame onwards is just available. And I know that a bunch of you guys aren't going to want to go and order off the Pokemon Center Japan using a proxy address. Totally get it. Perfectly understandable. But you know what? If they're super available in Japan, that means that they are therefore super available quite cheap outside of Japan, and that's kind of my point. I have been picking up these boxes from Japan very easily, so have all the resellers. They're getting very, very cheap. I think the pull rates in Japanese boxes are just better than ours, which is lovely. I think that the cards just look cooler. I am learning Japanese, so I'm a little bit biased, I understand. I love collecting Japanese cards. I'm a massive fan of it. And if you want a wussy pick, Japanese boxes. Shiny Treasures EX is very available at the moment. That's one that I would recommend quite highly. But also, Mask of Change is the newer set, and it's got Ace-Specs and Ogerpon and all of that. So maybe consider that one. There we go. Japanese boxes, nice and cheap. So that's it. Those are the best Pokemon TCG products available right now. And now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about these. Tell me if there's anything you think should be on the list. Tell me if there's anything that's been left off that makes you a little bit sad. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. And of course, get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely Tamberlin, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.